So it's been a year since I purchased my first EG4 12000XP from Signature Solar. I'm up to 5 of them now, but today I'm going to talk about my experiences so far and how they performed. Behind me is my shop setup, so I've been running this configuration for quite some time. The inverter that's on my right, that's my original EG4 12000XP that took my shop off the grid. And I haven't had a single fault with it so far. Now, I did have a couple blips, but that's because I was testing its overload, and I was able to get it to shut down. And it probably was around 13,000, 14,000 watts continuous, which was above its max. And it finally kicked the lights off. But for regular use, I've had absolutely no issues. I've had no reason to reset it. So I've heard with different inverters, you might have to power it down and power it back up if you have some sort of a fault. But I haven't run into that on the EG4s or specifically my 12,000 XPs. Now, the one thing that I did notice is when I was lifting cars in my shop, I would get a bit of a voltage drop when I first engaged the motor. And with that, you'd see the lights flicker, and I knew that probably wasn't the best for the motors. So I picked up a second one, and the second one had rectified that issue. So now I can pick up, cars and there's no voltage drop. But when I was on a single system, I actually still was able to lift 2 cars at the same time because I have multiple lifts. So it has a surge capacity, but the light still flickered, and once again, probably wasn't the best for the unit to try to do that. So 2 of them are running, no longer have any voltage drops, which is really good. Now, what's interesting is with this, I've had my batteries get low, and I set my inverters to shut off. I think initially it was at 49 volts, and once it hit 49 volts, it would shut off the lights of the shop and everything else. The only issue that I had was 2 of my lead time batteries. I had bricked them because they were 24-volt batteries in series, and it's hard to kind of keep them balanced without top balance in them. And because of that, I ended up bricking 2 of them. And I'll be replacing all these lead times at some point. It was just, improper planning on my part. What's interesting is the inverters are paralleled. So you would think I would have some sort of an issue that once the battery's drained and the inverter's kicked off, that I would have a problem with them powering back up because they've got to be synced together. Well, in fact, I didn't run into that issue at all because when the inverters disconnect, there's still enough power to keep them running. They're just not outputting AC. So they stayed synced the whole time. So once the batteries got charged back up to a certain level, poof, the lights were back on. So I found that pretty interesting that there were no sort of sync issues. And that was something that I really liked because I didn't want to have damaged equipment with this powering up while, I might be away from the house. So that's kind of neat. That I liked. As far as updates on them, haven't had any issue. I've probably done 3, 4 updates at this point on it, and there's been some bug fixes and security fixes, but nothing functionally that I've really noticed with it. So that's pretty much it for the shop system. And then for the home system, once this was running and it was stable, I propositioned my wife. I said, hey, can we do the same thing for the house and kind of take that off the grid? And she agreed. She said, all the equipment's got to stay in the shop. I don't want anything in the garage of the house. I don't want batteries and wires and all of that there. And I said, fine, I'll house it in the shop and set everything up. So let me show you that system. So you've probably seen this behind me in a lot of my videos. So this is what's running the house. So the house has a 200 amp panel on it, and I've done some testing on it to see how much it would draw. And I just published another video on it. I think it was around 120 amps in my house with everything turned on. The inverters put out 50 amps continuous, 75 amps peak, so was more than enough power to power the house. So as far as issues that I've had with it, there haven't been too many. One of the things that I'd recommend is maybe add some additional adjustments for the fan speed. That way we can adjust the curve of how quickly that it ramps up. That would be kind of nice. That way it's more of a gradual curve as it speeds up and then just ramps down slower. And then that way it wouldn't have to spin up as high and as fast, and that might help make it a little bit quieter. Now, when I'm outside my shop, I really don't hear it too much. I can hear it maybe 10 feet away, and that's about it. So it's not that loud, but you could still hear it a little bit. And when I'm recording, I try to do it after, peak daylight so the fans aren't speeding up. But it's the only issue that I've really noticed. Once again, no powering off and powering back on, no errors, no glitches. I've done all my updates, so maybe that's helped. I think if I remember back, I was told that when you first power it on before you do anything, update it, because that initial version might be a little bit glitchy, but I did all that on mine right away, so I never had any sort of issues there. But that's pretty much the improvement. I know that there's rare cases when people have had issues with 12,000 XPs. It's not that common. I think a lot of it is not really, maybe the inverter itself. It could be how it's wired up. So I would say whenever that you're connecting up to your MPPT, make sure that you're using SPDs. So if you have any sort of a voltage spike, it doesn't fry the inverter. Make sure that you're using proper wire gauge. So I'm using a pair of 2 watts going into each inverter. I have plenty of batteries to make sure that there's no sort of voltage drop on the DC side as the power goes in. I ensure my wiring on the AC output has thick enough wire. So I believe the wire that I'm using is capable of 80 amps, and I'm putting out 50 continuous at its peak. So, I went oversized on my wiring in most areas. So I think a lot of it is, kind of how you set it up. And then also, did you torque everything properly? That kind of, ties into things as well. But if everything's set up properly, just my experience and from what I've seen in the forums, I haven't really seen any issues, and I haven't noticed any issues. Now, they do come with a 5-year warranty, so hopefully they do last the full 5 years, or potentially longer would be nice. I'd like to, maybe get 7 to 10 years. One thing that also helps is I do clean the air filters, and I've got a mini split in here to keep the temperature under control. So I think the hottest that it ever gets in here is maybe 84, 85 degrees if I'm not in here, but it never sees 90 or above. So maybe that helps with the longevity. But I just try to, do everything that I can to make these last, and I've had no sort of issue. The prices have changed, so I think I paid just under 2,600 each. I think it was 25.89 or something like that. Kind of rings a bell. And now they're 18.99, and they put out more output. So the version 2 now puts out 12,000 watts without solar and up to 15,000 with solar. So it kind of takes the solar and converts it, and poof, you have a higher AC output. But yeah, so once again, no issues that I've come across. But it is discounted now. If you want to even get a better price than that, I've got my Signature Solar discount codes listed below. So please use them. It helps support the channel, helps me to do a bunch of neat projects and, test things out, inverters, batteries, solar panels, you name it. The other thing too is got a growing forum. So that is windsolarforum.com. So it's growing. It's been up for a year now. It's growing, slowly. It's not growing nearly as fast as Will Prouse's is. It's a small community, and there's a lot of cool folks in it. And I'm trying to add a couple new threads every day to get things going. But I think we've got 52, 53 folks on it now, and there's a core group that we're always posting stuff. So that's kind of neat. If you do want to get involved and see what the forum is like and get to know some of the other subscribers more on a personal level and know more about me and how I got into all of this solar goodness, check out the forum. And I think I have a section that you can show off your system. And definitely looking for people that want to join the forum and want to contribute. I think that's really a good thing. We all have different experiences when it comes to solar, and it's a great thing to share it with other people. So if you have any questions on these inverters, how to hook them up, or anything like that, feel free to reach out to me. And I'm also available in the forum. And you ask the guys in there whenever that something's posted. I'm always answering and helping out wherever that I can. So thanks again for subscribing, for being a part of the channel, and kind of being with me on this journey. So about a year in with these inverters and adding all these solar batteries and panels, and kind of building all this out. So thanks for watching Mike's Solar Garage, and have a great day.